What is up, guys? This is your boy Michael back with you with another video, and this time around we are going to be talking about the latest news that came out with Andrew Luck being set back and my thoughts on it. We're not going to be doing any previewing for Jacksonville. That's going to be in another video. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it, guys. I'm not happy with it. You know, him getting set back because of shoulder soreness is what Chris Ballard said in his press conference. That's just a load of crap, man. That's just a load of crap. Anyone that's coming off of a surgery, whether if it's a knee, a hernia, groin, shoulder, whatever the case may be, there's always going to be soreness when you're coming back for the first time, in the first couple of weeks, maybe even the first month or so. But that's the name of the game. You're going to have soreness in those areas. And we're approaching it as if that was not expected. Well, how did Chris Ballard, Chuck Pagano, or the trainers not expect that? I mean, the trainers, they went to school for this stuff, so that's just a load of crap. I'm not sure what Chuck Pagano, Jim Irsay told him. I'm not saying Chris Ballard is doing the wrong thing. I think Chris Ballard is the right guy to get this organization in the right, get it going in the right direction. But I think Jim Irsay is probably in the way of that. Chuck Pagano being there, obviously still in the way. You know, they're just lying to our faces. You know, first it was he'll be ready for training camp, and then says he might play in the third preseason game, and then it was he might be ready for week 1, and then he might be ready for week 3, and then the target comeback date was week 6, and now a setback, and we don't know if he's gonna play. Now, I'm not saying he should play. This is not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I've always been saying that he should just be out for the rest of the year, get fully healthy, work on his progression as a quarterback, get stronger, get healthier, because this season is lost already. But I'm making this video to point out what this personnel in this organization is doing wrong, because the whole time they have been BSing with us from the beginning. From the very beginning, they have been BSing with us. And it doesn't make fans like me happy. It doesn't make anyone happy who's a true fan of the Indianapolis Colts. And it's mind-boggling that Chuck Pagano is still here, Chad Chizinski is still here, Ted Monachino is still here. I don't know. I mean, there's still nothing positive around this organization. We should shut down this whole entire season. That's what I think. We should just shut down the entire season for everybody, because we just can't. For some reason, the Colts can't be healthy. I don't know what it is, whether if it's rookies, veterans, whatever the case may be. But we just can't seem to be healthy. And then another thing to point out, a reporter in today's press conference asked Chuck Pagano what's the reason behind Quincy Wilson being inactive lately. And this whole time, I thought it was because it was the knee injury. But apparently Quincy Wilson has not earned his playing time. How in the world are you going to earn playing time as a second-round draft pick? And when he was playing in week 6, he did a great job on Larry Fitzgerald against the Arizona Cardinals. That blew my mind. Because how can someone like a Chuck Pagano determine, oh, Quincy Wilson is not going to play because he hasn't earned it? Well, why should you still be the head coach if you haven't earned it yet? Because maybe then, as a defensive coordinator in Baltimore, you had a resume to say, hey, look, I can do this. I'm going to go for head coach. But now, embarrassing. You reached one conference championship game that you got destroyed in, and that's when the whole Deflategate started. But we didn't lose because of deflated footballs. Tom Brady could have used ping pong balls, and we still would have gotten destroyed. It was Chuck Pagano's ability to build a defense is probably worse. It's so bad I can't think of a comparison right now. I can't think of it. His free agent signings along with Ryan Grigson, but that was a good thing. We already got him out of the way, out of the organization. That's a great thing. but Chuck Pagano was still there. Coming into the season, I was giving Chuck Pagano a chance. But how he's handled injuries, how he's handled making this roster, and to this point in the season, I'm out. I was actually out week 2 because in week 1, he could not get the matchups right or make corrections on the defense in week 1. He still had TJ Green at cornerback when he was getting eaten alive. John Bostic and Antonio Morrison, for some reason, is still starting on this defense. I mean, why can't you just go out and get a... I mean, they even re-signed Sean Spence. I don't care. Sean Spence was supposed to be our starting linebacker, but he didn't want to do that because he was injured in the... Chuck Pagano did not want to make him the starter because he was injured in the preseason. But somehow, some way, John Bostic gets signed in like the week right before the first preseason game, and already he's starting. I don't get that. I even went to because I live in Texas, I made it down to the Colts and Cowboys preseason game. In that first drive, Dallas started on their own 5-yard line. And they drove 95 yards against our starting defense. They did. And it was mainly because of the linebackers. Jason Witten, Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams picked apart John Bostic and Antonio Morrison. Jabal Sheard, and also another thing, this 3-4 defensive scheme is horrible, which is what I was about to get into with Jabal Sheard. Jabal Sheard is a pass rusher. He's not a coverage guy. John Simon, I could see a little bit, but we need to get rid of not only Chuck Pagano, but this 3-4 scheme that he brings. It's ridiculous. It's supposed to be a strength against the run, and you're supposed to have an ability to rush the passer. But that has not happened. That has not happened. The only one year that happened is when Robert Mathis had 19.5 sacks. That's the only time. It's horrible. The 3-4 is such a horrible scheme. I've never been a fan of it. I'm more of a fan of the 4-2-5, but the odds of it getting into the NFL where you have much bigger running backs, more running game, I don't see it going into the NFL. But I would also be fine with the 3-3-5 or the 4-3. Because it's a great matchup because your middle linebacker is your run stuffer. And then also the middle linebacker has to be good in coverage. You have 3 available linebackers as to where you have the 3-4. But in the 3-4, you're giving up the chance of matching up a pass rusher a la Jabal Sheard against a very well slot receiver, or like it happened this past Monday night against the Titans. Jabal Sheard against Delaney Walker. That didn't work out so well. It didn't. Jabal Sheard is not a cover guy. He is a pass rusher. He should be on the defensive line. Or in the 4-3, he should be the left end or right end. Guys, there's so much wrong with this organization. I mean, there's just so much wrong with it. I don't want to see Andrew Luck go, but if I'm Andrew Luck, I'm really just thinking there's no stability. I mean, Chris Ballard is probably the only positive thing about this personnel and management. If I'm Andrew Luck, I don't want to be behind this offensive line anymore. I don't want to have to worry about getting hit 10 times a game. Even more than that. I don't have to worry about my wide receivers dropping the ball. Because Dante Moncrief can't catch a ball to save his life. Neither can Jack Doyle. Kamar Aiken hasn't gotten his touches yet. Chester Rogers is injured. Again, sit Andrew Luck, which is probably the smartest thing Chuck Pagano might do in his whole tenure of head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. But still, fire Chuck Pagano, give Jim Harbaugh a call. You know, hey, Andrew Luck is here. Can you rebuild this team? Because he's had a great resume of rebuilding teams quick, fast, and in the hurry. With Stanford, San Francisco, and look what he did against Michigan. Michigan was always a 6-6, 7-5 team. But now they're playing on New Year's 6 bowls, potential college football playoff. But I still want Jim Harbaugh. I think there's so many needs that we need to address with this team, and there's not enough draft picks to go around. And next year in free agency, hopefully we can make a call to Alshon Jeffrey, who's on a 1-year contract with Philly. Hopefully get James Washington from Oklahoma State, the wide receiver, in the draft. Definitely get a linebacker and a secondary player in the draft. Maybe, or maybe not, because we still have Nate Harrison and Quincy Wilson. I'm not sure if Vontae Davis is going to make it back. Clayton Gathers, I think we need maybe we need to go 2 years in a row going secondary in the first round, because I think we need to go after Darwin James. Make him the strong safety. Darwin James and Malik Hooker as the safeties, and then you add in Quincy Wilson at the corner. Potentially Nate Harrison. I'm not sure. I got to see more from him when he's healthy and being productive. But that's a strong secondary and a young one, too. Now, I'm not saying they have a chance to be the Legion of Boom 2.0, but they have a chance to be something special. John Simon, Jabal Sheard, I believe were good signings, but if we go to the 4-3-5, I think it's going to be even better. Jonathan Hankins, Al Woods, Henry Anderson, I'm okay with, but we need to scrape the whole linebacking core. Bring in nothing but rookies, maybe a veteran or two, and then the offense, I don't even know where to start with the offense. I mean, my goodness. Cut Frank Gore, Marlon Mack, keep him. Robert Turbin, he's going to come back. He's on a 2-year unless we don't cut him or release him or anything. And I would also like a underrated running back in college football who goes to TCU, which I'm a fan of. I would love to see Kyle Hicks in Indianapolis. He's another great runner who has great vision and breakaway speed and has good hands coming out of the backfield. That's a wild card for a draft pick for Indianapolis. Chris Warren from Texas. Maybe Bo Scarborough from Alabama. I don't know. But we need to do something with this team. I think that's all I have for you guys. That's really it. I just wanted to voice my opinion, my thoughts on this whole Andrew Luck situation. And I'll be back with another video to preview the Jacksonville matchup. And if you're a college football fan, I'm also doing videos reviewing, previewing other news about TCU football. So thank you guys for checking this video out. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys.